What is up, the W Sports Podcast? That is right, Jimothy. I'm back. I'm so rusty, so bear with me. But I'm so excited to be back. Been moving like crazy over the last week and a half into a new place. But Tubby's been locking it down. The best co-host became the best host in the business, just flat out solo showing it. I feel like the last 2 weeks, Tubby. Thanks, man. You crushed
Hey, I appreciate it, but the fearless leader is back, so
it. I don't know
everything's
about that.
right.
Yeah, well, let time be the judge on that. We'll see how rusty I am today, but I've been doing my best to keep up with everything. I want to say I did call the Bills beating the Chiefs last week, and I know I didn't
Yeah.
get to talk about it, but here is my one thought about it. As a Chiefs fan, it
Mhm.
took the Bills converting a 4th and 2 with a Superman run for a score for them to beat the Chiefs. That's all I'm saying. That's what it took. No,
Yeah.
there's no guarantee that the Chiefs make a game winning drive, let alone with a kicker who we don't know anything about really.
Yeah. No, I mean,
But it did
it's
take
the
that.
truth. Yeah. I mean, you can't ever count out the Chiefs ever.
Yeah,
Never ever in whatever game it is.
yeah.
And but like I don't know if you caught the podcast. There's a lot of Chiefs fans who are like, "Oh, we just need to lose this game on purpose so we can, have some adversity." I'm like, "That's the
No,
one game you don't want to lose."
yeah. You don't lose that one. You need it for
Yeah.
seeding. You need it for the Bills, just to mental side of the game. So I agree with what you said. Like, no, this is a
Yeah.
bad thing. You never want to lose the game. You know you're gonna lose a game. Don't let it be.
Hmm.
I mean, it's fine.
Yes. Seating wise, that's
Yeah.
not the game you want to lose.
No, not for tiebreakers. Come on now.
No.
But we're going to go into some college football. But before we jump into that, we're going to start with the beautifulness that was a snowy, blizzard-like conditions in Cleveland, Ohio. Gave you a great reason to watch a game between the Steelers, who are the weirdest 8-3 team I think I've ever seen,
Hmm.
and then a backup quarterback with a bunch of injuries for Cleveland, and beautiful. Loved it.
Yeah. No, the snow made the game that much better. But I think it's safe to say now, this is we've talked about this for the last couple years that Deshaun Watson is the problem. I mean, it's the
Yes.
only conclusion that you can come to with you have had now this is the second quarterback that has come in when Deshaun Watson gets hurt. Last year, Joe Flacco took him to the playoffs. We don't think that's going to happen this year with Jameis Winston, but Jameis Winston has came in and they have won 2 games compared to 1 game with Deshaun Watson. They have looked so much better offensive wise,
Mm-hmm.
and then on top of that, they traded Amari Cooper too, and so they even don't even have like the best wide receiver group out there that they could
Mm-hmm.
have, and
Yeah.
the offense looks so much better with him on the field.
Yeah, it has been. It was good. So,
Yeah.
definitely the problem. They got to figure out a way to get rid of him, just like Daniel Jones, who was released today as we record this, and as we
Yeah.
release the episode as well. Released this morning. He asked to be released. Was demoted to QB4. Absolutely crazy. Not even the emergency quarterback. They're like, no, you're done. There's no way we're playing you. Practice squatted up,
Yeah.
and he said no thanks. So, is there a
He,
team that's going to pick him up?
I'm sure someone will.
Yeah.
Someone's going to pick him up. Some team that's having some quarterback issues, maybe some health issues with the quarterback. Someone's
Yeah.
going to pick him up for a backup quarterback, which I think he's a decent. He can be a good backup quarterback. I imagine. An emergency, start or something if something happens to your quarterback. He's had a little bit of success. He's won a playoff
Yeah.
game in his career, so hey,
Mhm.
at least there's
You know,
that.
there's a good chance that there is an opening across the hall in New York. I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if you ask Woody Johnson.
I'm just saying. It looks. I mean, everything in the with the Jets is just falling to pieces right now. And
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers, matter of moments before he says, "Yeah, I'm done."
yeah. He's going to be the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings next year. Watch.
I it. I'm just, it looks like we've seen this before, Tubby.
Right? I mean, everything's pointing that way because we know Sam Darnold's probably going to get paid, and are the Vikings going to want to pay a big, pay him a
Yeah,
lot of money, especially with JJ McCarthy having to have a second knee operation.
yeah. I'm
So
not. I don't think so. But a second knee operation. That also, I don't know if enough people know that information, know that
yeah,
news widely, because it has been kind of under the radar because he hasn't
hmm
played this year, and but that
yeah,
is a pretty tough blow for that. But we'll see. I could totally see it. Aaron Rodgers just wants to keep playing, and he
hmm
has not been good. Tubby, you said
no,
this for quite some time. He has not been good since like 2019, 2018. So
yeah,
it's a tough break, but we saw this one coming.
yeah,
Um, All right. Well, we're just going to continue on with the
Yeah,
NFL
might as
news.
well.
So we got 49ers versus your Packers. 49ers are reeling at 5-5
Yeah.
after another loss last week. Packers, they have Jordan Love, who has been a little bit underwhelming this season compared to what he did last year. Big time game for both the teams, especially the
Mhm.
Packers, because they have to keep pace with the NFL's best Detroit Lions.
Yeah, yeah. The thing for Love is he's got to find a way to mitigate the turnovers. Turnovers have been the biggest problem because, I mean, really outside of that, most of his numbers are up right now than they were at this point last year.
Hmm.
It's just the interceptions have really killed him, and it's a lot of just dumb interceptions, like the one against the Bears last week. He just didn't set his feet, sailed it over a wide open Tucker crack, and then we saw the one with the against the Rams where he tries to throw it while he's in the end zone. They pick it off, return it, and then there's another one a couple weeks ago where it was almost identical play where he tries to get rid of it. They pick it off and run it in for a touchdown. So it's just
Yeah.
the dumb mistakes that he's going to have to fix. And other than that, I think that he's played relatively well.
Yeah. Well, in a year where most quarterbacks have not played well, I mean, he kind of fits the mold.
Yeah,
And the 49ers are dealing with so many injuries right now.
yeah,
They're in a still winnable division because it's a very mediocre division this right now, but they keep losing games that you're thinking this should be a win.
yeah. I, I'm still trying to figure out exactly why. This last episode I mentioned maybe it could be the fact that they're just not having big explosive plays like they're typically do. I mean, they're able to dink and dunk down the field all they want, but then they get into the red zone and for some reason they just can't score in the red zone. And so I think it's these big plays that they're missing, and whether or not it's just maybe teams have figured out, okay, we'll just let them dink and dunk down the field and not let them beat us, deep, or
Hmm.
maybe it's the Brandon Ayuk being out for the rest of the season. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. But they have playmakers. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's weird.
that.
Again, maybe it's still the Brock Purdy thing. Maybe Brock Purdy's a good game manager, but he just honestly
Mm-hmm,
isn't the next level guy. But
yeah,
I think the problem is at the same time, there aren't that many next level guys in the NFL anymore.
no, there's really not.
So, all right. Well, we'll look at another one of the games here. We got Eagles versus Rams. The Eagles have looked really strong here in this
Yeah.
last couple month plus. Do they
Mm-hmm.
continue that this week?
Yeah, I think so, but I think this is going to be a big, a tough fight. The Rams are another team that's kind of playing hot right now.
Hmm.
Offensive wise, you got Puka, you got Cutback, and you got Kyron Williams. You're starting to get a couple of the offensive linemen back. This is a team to watch in the NFC West.
Yeah, especially in a very winnable division right now. So
Yeah.
I do like Philadelphia to win this game. I
Mm-hmm.
would love to see Hurts and AJ Brown go absolutely off this week. It'd be great. That really helped me in a league where I started David Njoku.
Hey,
Oh, man, it's fine. We're in the playoff push. More on that, in the next episode. But
yeah,
still,
yeah, tough break.
uh, yeah. Does Carolina continue their hot streak against the Chiefs?
No,
Okay, I hope not.
that would be bad. That's the game that then you go, okay, we already lost one. We don't need to lose another one.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be brutal. It is a noon game, which is weird, but it's because it's Carolina. So go figure.
Yeah.
The Commanders, last we checked, were 10.5 point favorites over Dallas. It has now been pushed. Oh, no, it's still at 10.5. So uh, uh, I get it because Dallas
Mm-hmm.
has been so bad.
Yeah.
But Washington hasn't been effective the last
Mm-hmm.
month plus. So
Yeah.
is this game? I mean, the Commanders should win this game. I think we all agree. But
Mm-hmm.
how is this a blowout win?
I don't think so. One big reason why, you know why? It's in Washington.
I was gonna
It's
say it's on
in
the road.
DC. So
Yeah.
Dallas absolutely plays better on the road, but no, I think 10.5 was a little crazy. Yeah, Cooper Rush hasn't played super great, but he played a lot better the second start this year than he did his first start. But yeah, I think 10.5 is a little high. I think Jaden Daniels isn't quite healthy right now. I think the ribs are
Yep.
bothering him more than they're letting on.
Yeah, and he is really the gap between him rookie of the year versus Bo Nix has really shrunk. And I
Yeah.
don't think any of us really saw. I didn't see that coming
No.
with Bo Nix this year, but he just continues to progress really well with really great coaching. So
Yeah.
this is a week with so many bye weeks. We can't see Cincinnati
Yeah.
lose this week. Buffalo can't continue to dominate or have a game where they fall flat. The
Mhm.
Jets get a week where they are like, you know what? No one's going to pay attention to us. Let's make sure we're in the news. We
Yeah.
have all these little things. We thought the Jaguars were going to be cleaning house with the coaching staff. They're obviously not. So this is the bye week. We thought everything was going to happen, and nothing is happening. So,
Yeah.
bro, it's weird.
Great way to put it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So big news. Maybe last week and I know you talked about it a little bit. Was Anthony Richardson?
Yeah.
Uh, okay. Was it a one game blip, or do we see him against the Lions this week revert back to a 10 for 30 type game?
Yeah, it's going to be another 10 for 30 type game.
Bingo. I mean, he is going against the best team, I think,
Yeah.
in all of in the NFL right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it's another like 45-10 blowout for the Lions, I would not be surprised because they are just on fire right now, especially offensive wise. They are just rolling.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've thought the Lions since probably week 5-ish or so. Like, there's
Mhm.
something different about this team, and
Yeah.
it's the culture, the coaching staff, the way they believe in each other,
Yeah.
and they just overwhelm teams. And the game I'm going to keep going back to was the last time I did the podcast when it was them versus the Texans.
Yeah.
They were down big. Jared Goff kept throwing picks left and right, and they
Yeah.
kept running the ball.
Yep.
I'm just saying. Don't abandon the run, folks.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you can throw 5 interceptions in a game and still win that game, yeah, you got something cooking there.
Yeah. You got Arizona versus Seattle. This game has, again, this is the whole division we talked about in the NFC West.
Yeah.
Who you got in this game, Kyler Murray or Geno Smith?
I'm gonna go with Kyler. I mean, this was our surprise playoff team at the beginning of the year, and I think this division is so wide open, and they're playing the most consistent football out of all the teams through the whole season. Maybe not over the last like 4 or 5 weeks. The Rams are definitely giving them a run for the money there, but they're winning games that they need to win, and they're winning games that maybe we didn't think that they could win at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and they got the Seahawks in 2 of the next 3 games. So if they get this one out of the way, they get the next one at home. It really helps them with a very tight division. So they got to win that because they have 4 total division games left, and the 2 of them, like I said, are against them in the next 3 weeks. So
Yeah.
big time matchup over the next 3 weeks for those 2 teams.
Yep.
And then finally, Jim Harbaugh versus John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone saw the Chargers being this good this quick, but talk
No.
about shift in culture quick. 7-3 Los Angeles Chargers. Who you got?
Let's go with Harbaugh. No.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one.
No, really? I mean, is the game in games in LA? Give me the Chargers.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I'm taking the Chargers as well. I know they played the Bengals, but they dominated the Bengals up front, and then they played the Browns, Saints, lost to the Cardinals. You're like, that doesn't make sense, but they played the Chiefs really close. I think this is a really good team. I don't think it's a championship team yet, but
yeah,
there's something shifting there, and they still have a really good quarterback.
Yeah,
who's more healthy now than he's been in a long time,
and he's playing really good. And the thing in the Bengals game that I noticed the most was he used his legs a lot more than we have seen him in the past, which is a big weapon. I don't think people realize how mobile Justin Herbert really is. I mean, his first couple of years in college, he was known as a running quarterback.
Well, how many interceptions has he thrown this year, Tubby? Do you know?
5.
1.
So
wow. Here's the thing: like this is a Jim Harbaugh thing. Or he just continues to put his team in the best position to win the football game, right? You're not going to get the best position to have the best stats.
Yeah.
But he is, and look at this. J.K. Dobbins, who saw him he's getting close to 10 touchdowns on the ground. I thought his career had to be over, and here we are. So,
yeah, it's incredible. It just shows you what a good coach can do.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And he is a really good coach at every single level. He just keeps doing it. So I think that's all of the games right now. I know we've gone a little bit long, but guys, I've been out for a minute. We got to catch up. Okay. And this is some of the rust I want to talk about it all. All right. Well, let's go ahead. We're going to transition to college football. We got a top 5 matchup in Ohio State and in Indiana. It is in Columbus.
Mhm.
Weather's gonna be cold, but that's about it. There's not gonna be any snow or anything like that. I don't think you have to worry about. But a high flying Indiana offense versus I'm gonna say a low flying Ohio State offense that hasn't been incredible, but they are favored by two scores. It's 11 points. It was 13 and a half. It's now 11. Who you got in this one, Tubby?
Man, I really want to pick Indiana. I just want to see it happen. I just
He's
this is
not
their
doing it.
first big moment of the season because you look at that
Yeah,
strength of schedule up until this point. What last week I think it was ranked at like 101 or something like
yeah. It's not
that.
great. It's not tough.
But man, that offense is so good. But I think Ohio State's going to win. I think they're going to win, but it's going to be very close.
Yeah, I do think it's gonna be a lot closer than what they're saying. 11 points is, I mean, that's 35-24 is what you could easily see something like that. But
Yeah,
I don't know. Indiana. Here's what's weird. Ohio State has to win this game.
yeah,
They want a shot in the Big Ten championship game. They have to win this game. And what's funny is Indiana, technically, if they lose this game, they still have a pathway if things shake out the way they need to.
yeah.
Guys, go back to divisions. Okay, I'm just saying, go back to divisions, please. It'll help us a lot. But Indiana, I don't know. I like them to keep it competitive, and I'm going to pick the upset because
Cool.
I still don't believe in what Ohio State's doing. I don't think they're as electric as they need to be, and I think they're going to need to be a little bit electric to keep up.
Yeah, I mean they haven't really played anyone super tough the last few weeks either.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. The other big matchup I want to see this weekend is Army versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame is very sneaky. Can't get a top 4 seed,
Yeah,
but this team is righted the ship. Or is it
yeah.
also a case of a weak schedule since that loss?
I mean, could be a bit of both, but the one thing that I like of what Notre Dame has done is they haven't just won; they have dominated each game that they've played since. And I think that speaks more to, yeah, okay, they win 35 to 28 or something against a Joe Schmo, lower level Power Five or group of 5 team. They're just blowing teams out, and I think that's what's the most impressive thing about it is that they're just going in there and they're just putting it on teams. That defense has turned things around, and this is a team I don't think people are going to want to see in the playoffs if that's the defense that's coming for the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree, and they're going to get that home game in that first round for sure. I mean, there's no
Mm-hmm.
reason they shouldn't get to host if
Yeah.
they keep winning out. I do think Army keeps it close, but I think Notre Dame does win this game. But
Mm-hmm.
man, I'm going to be going for Army the whole way. It could be their
Oh yeah.
first 10-0 start in program's history.
Yeah. I mean, we all want to see
Come on,
Army find some way to sneak into this playoff.
dude. Would that be just
Yeah.
awesome? Incredible. All right. Well, then we got a Big 12 weekend. It's a pretty big one. We got
Yeah.
BYU at Arizona State. Both teams are trying to stay alive in the Big 12 championship race. And then, of course, Colorado playing at Arrowhead, for the
Uh
record.
huh.
I don't know if people know that, but at Arrowhead against Kansas, who has been playing like the Kansas team we thought. Pick those two matchups. Who you got?
I'm gonna go Arizona State over BYU.
I think that makes sense. Arizona's playing really well. BYU's playing shaky.
Yeah, BYU's lucky they haven't lost their last couple of games. Got really lucky against
Utah.
Utah, and blew the game against Kansas. This team they started out big, but they had some shaky wins. Man, I'm gonna pick Colorado. I want to pick Kansas because this was my sleeper in the Big 12 at the beginning of the year, but Colorado has definitely turned things around this year,
Mm-hmm.
and I said it on the last week. I was like, I'm man enough to own it. I was wrong.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, what's weird is the trajectory of what we expected from Georgia this year
Mm-hmm.
and where they're at, and then what we
Yeah,
expected from Colorado and where they're actually at is crazy. So
yeah,
I'm not saying that my prediction when he went there was in 5 years you would see a flip, but I don't know that he
yeah,
stays that long. But he's still recruiting really well. Give me
yeah.
Coach Prime, Colorado Buffaloes to win. And here's the thing: it also does to Kansas. It almost eliminates them completely from any bowl game opportunity.
Yeah.
They only have 4 FBS wins right now. They need these
Mm-hmm.
last 2 big time. They have a 5th win, and
Yep.
it's against Linwood. So
Yeah.
come on, jeez, that game was ugly. All right, so I'm also going to take Arizona State for the same reasons that you said. Arizona State, what a surprise team! Good for them. Gotta love
Yep.
it. All right, Oklahoma versus Alabama.
Give me
Roll
the
Tide.
Sooners.
Oh, please. Are you serious?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, man, they had the bye week going into it. They're going to be feeling
No.
great.
No. There's way too many injuries. There's too much turmoil going on right now in that program.
Yeah. So that's the question is it a 2-score game or more?
Yeah.
More?
It's too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think so
so.
too. I don't think it's close. I think, yeah, if they can spy
Yes. That's going
Milrow
to be
and
the
keep
key.
them contained, I think they have a shot. But I think the only way they win this game if it's 17-10. Like, they
Yeah.
got to keep it low. And the defense scored 2 touchdowns, and they returned a touchdown on a punt. So, like,
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to have to either, like you said, it's going to have to be a really low scoring game, or we're going to have to see Jackson Arnold just come out of nowhere
yeah,
and show something that we haven't seen since the bowl game.
yeah. Well, we got Florida and against Ole Miss. Does Florida make the upset against Ole Miss? I'm going to take. I like Jackson Dart in this game. I think this is a sneaky team still with Ole
Mm-hmm.
Miss in a wide open playoff. But who you
Yeah.
got?
Yeah. I think it will be Ole Miss, but man, the way Flagway played last week,
Yep.
if he keeps playing like that, he's going to give them every shot to win that game.
Yeah. Yeah. And it'll be good. That's what you want. If Florida needs this, I
Yes.
mean, they need it. But we'll see if it actually works out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any upset pick for this week?
No, I
Yeah.
didn't even really look.
I think it's a pretty chalk weekend. There's a lot of,
Yeah.
Auburn,
Mm-hmm.
A&M. There's no way. Boise
Yeah.
State playing Wyoming. No. The closest one I think we could say would be a 5 over a 2 or Army beating Notre Dame. But I think most of these games this week almost seem pretty chalk.
I think
So
if you're going to go with one, potentially, I think it could be Kansas, just
yeah,
because of the way Kansas has played the last couple weeks. If that's the same Kansas that comes ready, maybe it's just an absolute shootout.
yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and throw this one out there. Give me Minnesota over Penn State.
Hey, there you go.
Come on, let's go Golden Gophers. Never
Go
forget.
Gophers.
All right, well, guys, it has been good to be back. We hope you stick around for the show. If you had not already, be sure that you subscribe to the channel because we have another episode coming out tomorrow. We don't want you to miss it, but then we have more throughout the week, every single week. So thank you guys so much for the support. We're on the journey to 300 subscribers, so thank you guys so much for doing that. Till then, we'll see y'all next time.
See ya.
See ya.